Why, hello there, friends, family, and everything in between. We're back with another round of Modern. We have Nick Urban on Izzet Breach versus Harley Smell on Green Black yawgmoth. This is Dylan from Alternate Universes. I am currently dying. If I sound a little weird during this video, I am getting bodied by my seasonal allergies. I returned from SCG Richmond, a state where, or a city where the pollen count wasn't very high. I returned to my suburban area where the pollen count is extraordinarily high. My lungs are usually the one that get messed up by the allergies. So, let's see if I can do this commentary for 42 minutes without wanting to cry. So, like I said, on the left we have Nick playing Izzet Breach. Got a turn 1 Ragavan, which connected, hit an Overgrown Tomb from Harley. Got 2 Expressive on turn 2, hitting a land drop. You have to love that feeling. It's just like such good tempo. If anybody knows me, I love my tempo. This is round 3 of our weekly Modern tournament that we have every Monday night at Alternate Universes Bluebell at 7 p.m. You can watch us live on Twitch at Alternate Universes Live, or you can come play with us and maybe be on camera yourself. You get to interact with me and hear my dumb jokes live and in person. I promise you they're not as bad as I make it out to seem. That was a lot of talking. We do Modern as well at our Wilmington location every Thursday night at 7 p.m. And I want to say our Holmes location does it on Fridays, though I don't know if that's been happening lately. I know we had a good crowd going there for a little bit, but I don't go to Holmes as often as I probably should. But hey, it be what it be. Alright, Harley has a Strangleroot Geist on the board. Now, both players very familiar with their decks, right? Like, Nick plays Izzet Prowess more than I've probably played the game. And Harley has a intense amount of reps on Yawgmoth. So, this is going to be a very interesting and fun match, and I'm excited for it. Maybe Dragon's Rage Channel. Now, I put Prowess in Nick's deck title because I just assume he's on Prowess. Whenever I see he's playing anything red or blue, he might just be on standard. Is it Murktide deck that just doesn't play Murktide and instead plays Underworld Breach? But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Monastery Swift Spear pop up out of nowhere. Alright, as a consider. We're looking a lot more like the Murktide deck. Murktide-less Murktide. I like how there's been a trend lately. Now, like, obviously, Izzet Murktide, still a deck, still very popular, still pretty good. Still probably the most represented deck in the format at all times. What I enjoy is the fact that Murktide has dropped the Murktide and picked up Underworld Breach, and then Rhinos was like, oh, that's crazy, you left this dragon on the side of the road? Let's just add it to the menagerie of, everything we've got going on. Alright, good. Draw off return. Now, like I said, this is round 3. If this is the only video you see this week, it's because the other 2 rounds were unusable. We had a lot of technical issues in round 1, which is very unfortunate because I actually really wanted to get that. I really want to get that one up on YouTube. But there's a lot of frame delays and frame dropping. I don't know if I can justify uploading it. Like, it's very choppy, and I don't like uploading stuff that's super duper choppy. Just because it's, like, not great content for you all to watch, and I want you to have good content. And as somebody who does video work professionally outside of this job, I don't like posting stuff that's choppy, if you understand what I'm saying. But it is a really interesting round. We had Mono Black Burn versus Rhinos, and it's Mono Black Burn. Like, I have a deck list for it, too. The guy sent it to me. I was very excited to play on camera. Like, I always feel bad. All right, Harley, courting here for a Dryad Arbor in response to his wall getting killed. Yawgmoth. 3 position coming out here. Attacks the Stronger Root Geist, offering the trade to the Ragavan. Just puts it right in front of it. Nick chooses not to block. Harley going to sack the Stronger Root Geist, putting a -1/-1 counter on Dragon's Rage Channeler. In response, we're going to see an Unholy Heat here, targeting Yawgmoth. This is most likely with the Undying trigger on the stack. It's one of the better times to interact with Yawgmoth. In response to the Unholy Heat, Yawgmoth is going to sack the Dryad Arbor. Going to put another -1/-1 counter onto the Channeler. Probably just looking for either Endurance or a green card to pitch to Endurance in order to, you know, evoke the Endurance, get rid of the graveyard, get another draw. But it resolves the draw effect from the first Yawgmoth and the Undying trigger. Plays a land for turn. Harley at 7 life is dead to Nick just having Underworld Breach plus land? I think he needs a land to do it, right? Breach is just 6 damage. Well, no, he is a 1/1 flyer. He can do exact damage. It's very interesting watching how different people shuffle. I don't know what it is. There's just something like unique about how everybody shuffles. It's kind of fun. Alright, bolt on the Geist. Get a Surveil trigger. Harley leading in very dramatically. That was slow and tense for some reason.
I left it on top. I didn't know if you were thinking. You took your thinking pose. No blocks in before. You're not casting that with one treasure. Don't look at it too long. I've actually seen grab the Anthem.
Gets in for some damage, passes the turn. Now the treasure token, he doesn't need a land for Underworld Breach to be lethal. That and Harley's at 4. His life total has in fact reduced since the last time we talked about the Breach line. Underworld Breach, folks, is a wild card. Prosperous Innkeeper here. Gonna make a treasure token. Or no, it makes a food token, right? Clue? Treasure. We're gonna settle on treasure. I think everything makes a treasure token nowadays. Alright, here's the Stronger Root Geist. We're going to gain a life from the Prosperous Innkeeper. Food token feels like it would be too much life gain. There's the Breach. Surveil trigger. Harley making Nick play this out. We're going to bolt Harley. Exiling 3 cards from the graveyard to pay for escape.
I wasn't sure there. Go for the BMs. Just start killing his creatures. Actually, I'm just going to recur bubble a bunch of times. Go for it.
Alright, and double bolt will take game 1. We'll be right back with game 2. It's going to cut hypothetically soon. Or it won't. Did I forget to cut? Oh baby, we'll see. Alright folks, so I did in fact forget to cut it. So, yeah. And then I get distracted responding to work messages. But in game 2, we've Harley on the play, leading on an Overgrown Tomb tapped. Nick with a Scalding Tarn, passing the turn. No Ragavan for him turn 1. Oh boy. Harley going to play a Wall of Roots here. Nick fetching with a Scalding Tarn. Going to get a tapped Steam Vents. Ooh, an untapped Steam Vents. Look at me, I'm a liar. He's going to take 2 life, go to 17. I wonder if he's going to play Consider in the end phase. You're gonna hear me. You're gonna hear noise. That is me using my inhaler. Don't mind me. Just doing my best Darth Vader impression. There's that consider we talked about. Look at the top card of the deck. Will he bin it? Will he draw it? Bin the Scalding Tarn. Draws for turn. Well, draws for the consider. Then we'll draw for turn. Ooh la la. Baby. Misty Rainforest. Land for turn. Passes. Not a lot of action here for Nick. Maybe his hand is just all in on the interaction side of it instead of the action side of it. That's right, folks. The bad jokes stay even while I'm sick. Prosperous Innkeeper coming out here. Going to make a token. I believe it's a treasure token. We went over this in game 1. I could have taken the time to look up what it says, but that would have been logical. March of the Machines was legal for this event, as cards are now immediately available upon release or pre-release of the set, which is kind of cool. It makes stuff like this more exciting, that you can just immediately play with the cards. Not that I think there's very many mom cards that we'll see play in Modern. Now, Aspiring Spike will brew with a bunch of stuff. Maybe we'll see some battles get played, which I think is an interesting mechanic, honestly. I think there's a world where the Urabrask is playable, but maybe a little too slow. I don't know. It feels like a great set for Standard and Pioneer, and it feels like it won't do very much for Modern. I could be wrong, and part of me kind of hopes I am wrong. Maybe it'll like introduce a new deck. Maybe Knights will be good enough in Modern. I doubt it. I know Knights will be popping up in Standard and Pioneer, which is exciting. I'll probably be putting it together in one of those formats, if not both. Thoran Physician here. Getting remanded. Okay. Wonder why he's just not playing Counterspell. Maybe just to draw cards? I don't know. I can't... You're never, like, gonna be lacking blue. I don't... If there's a mountain in the deck, there's probably only one. You're gonna be fetching Steam Vents pretty aggressively. I don't know if there's a world where you play Remand over Counterspell, man. I don't know. Here comes a Grist. I mean, the draw is nice. The draw card is nice. I don't know. It's one of the situations where we're like, he's light on lands. I just realized he's only at 2 lands. Maybe bidding that Tarn is coming back to bite him. I feel like Nick has just a streak of whenever he's on camera, he it was at least one game where he just like does not draw lands. Alright, iteration. Don't see what it exiled. Hopefully for Nick's sake it's a land. Though I imagine Harley's getting mighty close to being able to combo kill. Bobble. Not a land. I really like the fact that Yawgmoth is just a good deck in Modern. I don't know what it is. There's something about the deck that I just like really appreciate. It might just be the fact that it's a creature combo deck. I think those are so neat. And they just like make me happy to witness. Evoking a Fury by pitching Lightning Bolt here. Going to assign 4 damage to Grist. Yeah, I don't know. You know what deck I miss in Modern? And this is like the only time where I'm like, man, MH2 took this from me and I'm kind of sad about it. 5-color humans. I really fucking like 5-color humans. That was like the first modern deck I fell in love with. I remember Dan would the manager of the Bluebell store, Dan, would teach me modern, and he would be like, "You'll like this deck," and he would give me like random things. I'm like, whatever. But he gave me 5-color humans, and it just clicked. I love piles of random crap, and like Mantis Rider, Mantis Rider baby, Thalia's Lieutenant, all those cards. I just miss playing them. And I guess there's like a world where you could try it nowadays, but I just don't think it's good enough. Especially in a world where like Prismatic Ending and Fury exist. Like Prismatic Ending makes your Aether Vials bad. I've played exactly one vial since MH2 has been released, and it was immediately Prismatic Ending. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that again. I'm okay. We're tapping a bunch of mana here. There's a Shieldra of the Apocalypse. Whew. More ways to combo kill.
Trigger, go to 21.
Unholy Heat, probably targeting. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually targeting the Shieldred here.
Really cool. I like that a lot. Like, as much as I have a bunch of, like, I don't know.
Yawgmoth, second.
Pay a life.
Wally roots away.
Target.
Going to draw a card.
20, draw trigger.
Going to lose a life. Going to gain 2 life in the process. So he'll always be 1 life higher than where he started when he activates Yawgmoth.
Go to 21, no target.
A lot of random noises happening outside my house right now.
Sure. Back to you. It was a lot of fun playing with you. Good meeting you. Well, given the time and
Alright, Ledger Shredder out for Nick. Found a 3rd land. Progress has been made. So this game is not looking great for our young warrior. Got a Connive trigger. Draw a card. And discard a card. Ledger Shredder, one of my favorite cards to resolve. Though I feel like I just say that about every card in Izzet nowadays. There's a Blood Artist. Going to convoke the new card from March of the Machines. I think it's just a kill spell. Don't remember the name of it. But it's going to kill the Ledger Shredder, which is pretty cool. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I feel like every time someone plays a card in Izzet, I'm like, man, I fucking love that card. It's so good. I love me some Consider. Spell Pierce. Insert stock card in red-blue Murktide. I got a thing, man. I like Izzet gameplay. I don't know what it is. I like tempo style. I'm here for that. Expressive Iteration. Love that card. Can only play it in one format now. Well, I guess that's not true. You can play in a Vintage, but step 1 is affording Vintage or finding people cool enough to let you proxy Vintage. Which I feel like is most Vintage players. I don't know if y'all have like interacted with Vintage players, but they just like want people to play their format with them. I don't think I've met anybody who's a Vintage player who's like, no, you must own the Power 9. I own the Power 9. Me. They're usually like, oh man, you want to play this format with me? Let's go. I don't care if you have sticky notes as your power. And I respect that. There's like some weird stigma against casual proxies, and I don't get it. But I'm also like extremely anti-reserve list. So who knows? There's a yawgmoth coming down here.
Activate target.
Strangroot Geist getting sacked. It's gonna decrease the power value of that Draken's Rage Channeler. I was gonna draw a card. We're gonna Blood Artist do things. Probably just needs to find another Undying creature, and then Nick is dead. Plays Ignoble Hierarch. Cracks in for 3.
Probably a couple exalted trigger.
Trigger your.
Nick just says, "All right, I'll block it. Whatever."
Or I should be at 23 because I gained life off of my artist trigger. So I'm at 23.
We'll get a Blood Artist trigger because of that.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's see Harley do some things. Yawgmoth, sack Ignoble Hierarch. Going to target Strangroot Geist for the -1/-1 counter.
Target nothing. You're 8.
Doing it again.
Target Geist. You're
Again, Harley's just looking for an Undying creature. Once he finds it, the game is over. Because 2 Undying is the infinite kill combo.
No, yeah, you got it. You made me do it.
And Nick
That's why I'm asking if you're gonna make me do it.
Nah,
picks up his cards. Recognizing that he's dead, does not make his opponent play out the combo. And we are in game 3, folks. Nick on the play league on a Spire Bluff Canal. Love that card. Harley leads on Boseiju into Young Wolf. Nick is going to consider in the end step. Nick is considered at the end of every turn 1 this match. And I envy his ability to draw that card. I've gone matches without drawing consider, and I'm like, this is a card in my deck. I see a lot of cards in my deck. Where the are my considers? Alright, 2 mana Blazing Unlicensed Hearse. Pretty good against a deck that wants to send things to the graveyard and then bring them back. It can also grow exponentially big, which is kind of cool.
So you're like rediscovering all these things, but there's a part of it where there's like a guy guarding a button for the Union to like get into the dock, and he's like,
Young Wolf cracks in for 1 point of damage. Nick goes to 19. Already at 18 after shocking in that Overgrown Tomb. 2 mana go to play a Wall of Roots here. Wall of Roots, a card that I really honestly underestimated how good it is. Like, it's not a crazy good card, but it is a strong card. That 0/5 wall matters when you're playing against a deck that like wants to jam Ragavan at you. It just blocks Ragavan forever. It produces mana during your turn and your opponent's turn. You can make a mana with it, then tap it to convoke it, like convoke with it. It's an all-around really solid card. At first, when I like started to put Yawgmoth together, and I was like, I have to play this card really? And then watching Harley play, I was like, no, this card makes a lot of sense. As I mentioned at the beginning of game 1, both of these players are very proficient with these styles of gameplay. Harley has been playing Yawgmoth for a little while, like a while now. I think we can legally say a while. And he's just like, he is a really good person to watch play the deck in order to learn it. He also likes to try a bunch of like weird things in it from time to time, and we dig that. So, there's a Dragon's Rage Channeler coming down for Nick. Off of the Expressive Iteration.
I was a little bit mad, like, some of the stuff is different, but... It's better. Oh, it's better. But some
Does License her say card in your opponent's graveyard or a card in a graveyard?
of the changes...
I think it's just opponents, right?
I remember playing, like as, you know, 9th grade...
Would it be too good if it or banished your own stuff?
Although I'm also one of the few people actually enjoyed Resident Evil 5. So...
I never really got invested in the Resident Evil series. I was on the Resident Evil,
Alright, Arid Mesa coming out here. Cracks in for
I was
3 points of damage.
It could have been really good.
Looks like artifact instant sorcery land is what we have in the yard. There's a ledger shredder.
So
Alright, just says go.
use a teaser
Does not have any second spell that he wants to play right now to trigger the connive.
where it would have been multiple, like a world of it, which would have been really cool.
I'm still curious as to why Nick is playing Remand. If I remember on Monday, I want to ask him. Maybe that's just like a thing, like stock-wise it's happened that I just haven't realized. I haven't paid enough attention to Modern lately. Mostly because I've been busy focusing on other things. But I have been getting the itch again to play some Modern. Alright, there is a Gemstone Caverns coming in for Harley. Fetching with the Air Mesa. Going to 15 here. Harley, leaving up mana here. Nick cracks in for 3. Harley plays an Endurance. See, this is another like point where I feel like Remand feels bad. Because, like, Harley could just recast the Endurance if he so wanted to. Though it is a cute interaction with Dragon's Rite Channeler, right? Because you can surveil, see if the top card is something you actually want to draw or not. But that's nifty. I don't know if it's better than Counterspell, though. I don't know if it's, like, better than permanently answering the card. Alrighty. Doing some math here. I think Harley's debating of whether or not he should actually evoke the Endurance again. Where's my other? Not the point. Oh, no, okay, I remember where it is. Alright, Nick, going to Unholy Heat the Wall of Roots here. Going to get a Surveil trigger and a Connive trigger. My lungs are going to give up on me for a second there. Alright, going to kill the wall. roots have been set ablaze. Alright, Harley takes 3 damage down to 12, untaps. Going to play a Verdant Cracket. Going to fetch a basic swamp here. Going down to 11. I imagine maybe casting a yawgmoth? Ooh, play Shieldred. Okay. Pretty good against Connive, which is pretty sweet. Just make your opponent get shocked every time they connive. Right, are the gains of life from the Prosperous Innkeeper triggering? Alrighty. We're hand shuffling away.
Go.
2 cards in your graveyard?
Yeah.
Alright, Unlicensed Hare is going to eat 2 cards from the yard. To untap here. Alright, jamming in for 5 points of damage here.
Two triggers, target you, Innkeeper.
Okay, Endurance coming out here. Trigger going to resolve.
Should stack my triggers better.
Okay, going to Quarter Calling here.
X equals 2.
Trigger
Trigger.
connive.
This way I can get the last card in the graveyard. But I stacked them.
AKA force a Shieldred trigger. Haha.
Bad.
Discards a breach.
You're 11.
Still on the stack.
Cord gets spell pierced. Oof. Surveil trigger. Bins a Shredder. Could he get a 4th type in there?
So there's no blocker for sign, correct?
Correct.
I mean, it's possible, right? If he has an instant he could play, he could connive and then... Or surveil then connive. Maybe that's what he's thinking of. Looks like we're getting a bolt pre-damage. In fact, going to bolt pre-damage. Going to surveil first. This will put Harley to 7, assuming the bolt's directed at Harley. 7, 4. He could get a 1 here. Oh no, this could be lethal actually. He used a card on top. Decides to drop it. Does not turn on Delirium, but will hit for 4
Taking
points of damage off the Letter Shredder, a 5th point off Channeler, putting him to 2. Right, iteration resolving here. Oh, he was at 13. No, he went from 13 to 10. Okay, makes more sense. Have killed Shieldred.
cast Yawgmoth.
Yawgmoth comes down. Going to... Looks like we're going to activate Yawgmoth here, sacrificing the Young Wolf. Maybe not. Alright. In upkeep, going to activate Yawgmoth. Sacrificing Young Wolf, targeting Dragon Third Channeler. A Dying Trigger on the stack. We're going to see Nick probably activate that Unlicensed Nurse.
I'll exile the wolf and here.
It's Wolf and Shieldred. And Harley just going to scoop it up. Nick will take it in game 3, 2-1 with Izzet Breach over Yawgmoth. Thank you for watching, folks, and have a great rest of your day.